looks like we're rolling. So hi everyone. I apologize in advance for all this wind, but the microphone that has a wind guard doesn't speak to my phone, and it's a little too cold and gets dark a little too early to worry about setting up the tripod for the camera that it does work with. So, apologies in advance on the wind. In case you couldn't tell, we're here at Chicago's famous Roosevelt Road bridge. Well, actually, that's the famous Roosevelt Road bridge. This is the slightly less famous Whole Foods parking lot, with the Amtrak coach yard ahead of us and the Metra coach yard just beyond the bridge, with the entrance to Union Station over on our left. I'd been hoping to get down here to watch the rush hour action sometime this summer or fall, and it just didn't happen. So now, even though it gets dark a little too early for watching all of rush hour, I had some errands I needed to run downtown, so I figured I might as well stop by here, explore a few different angles, and kind of scout it out and prepare for actually visiting it for all of rush hour. So it's a little bit after 2 o'clock right now. I've seen what I think is probably a Michigan service, probably a Wolverine, going out of the Amtrak yard into the station. Getting ready to go. It's scheduled to leave in a little while. I don't have a full schedule up with me. I just have some notes I took. But I think we should be expecting to see it come out in not too long, as well as a BNSF inbound. So while we're waiting for that Wolverine to come back out, just check my notes. Yes, it was a Wolverine. Just looking at what we can see in the coach yard. There was an older Amtrak switch engine moving around a few minutes ago. I see a string of Siemens Venture coaches for regional service right in front of some superliners. A couple baggage cars that look like they're getting some maintenance right now. And a superliner on its own. Can't see much beyond that from here. If we go out on the bridge a little later, we might be able to see if there are some private cars down in the storage area. So I was wrong. That inbound Metra I just saw, I think actually was the BNSF. It's a little later than I thought it was. Took me a little longer to get parked than I expected. Which means we've got a little bit of a lull as far as scheduled trains, so probably everything we'll see is trains that have arrived coming back out of the station to the yard, and trains coming from the yard into the station, and maybe some switching going on. We've got a little while for the next scheduled train. We've got a couple things scheduled over the next 25 minutes. And then we have a lot of things scheduled around 2:50. We have California Zephyr and Southwest Chief both arriving, if they're on schedule. They weren't too far off last time I checked, as well as the Southwest Chief departing. So, I guess we just wait for that now. Got a slightly different vantage point here. We can see over into the Metra yard. You can see in the center of the distance, connected to that Venture coach, there's must be a private car. It's in Union Pacific paint. I see one Metra train with its headlight on. It's probably going to come into Union in not too long. And then over there in the middle, you can see one of Metra's new SD70 Mac H's. They've been running in testing. I haven't seen one in service yet, but I saw on a webcam one that looked like it might be in service. So, if we're lucky today, we'll finally get to see one of those newly remanufactured engines in service. So, let's hope we're lucky. So it's a little noisy here because we're right by the entrance to the post office, but this is Polk Street, which is the next street that crosses the tracks right here at the throat of Union Station. Right here below us is where the trains go underground to go into Union Station. I don't think the Metra trains have come through yet, so maybe we'll try to watch them from here. I think I hear the outbound one now, actually. All the noise you're hearing are, I assume, employees coming in and out of the post office. Guess I picked about the right spot to stand. comes the Metra in from the yard on the track that would be directly below us, it looks like. But I was starting to say before that train arrives, the noise is the cars that I assume are postal employees, as well as a postal truck loading up to, connecting up to a trailer. And it's even a truck made by the company I work for, so that's always nice. Looks like the Metra coming into the yard has stopped, waiting for the outbound to clear. And then as soon as they throw the switches, it'll be coming in, so maybe it'll come in on the same track. I could imagine them doing that. As they're getting ready for rush hour, they may have filled up most of their tracks, and as soon as that one empties out, putting another train in. I don't remember exactly what time we're expecting that inbound, though. There's something. Now, perhaps this one is going to the yard? I don't know. Obviously, the to and from the yard schedule isn't one I could even look at to take notes. Right below us. Let's move over a little bit, a better angle. Back. Sorry about that. Tripped over my scooter. Notice that signal. It's red over lunar. Yeah, that's not white, that's lunar, and it means restricted speed. At least usually. So probably what that means is that that track is lined for the yard. And if you're going to go that way, you have to be very slow because of that train in front of you. Well, we got back to not-so-famous Whole Foods. I think I like this angle a little better. The lighting is certainly better. Here we have a Metro train that looks like it's pulling out of the yard. In fact, it might be the same one we just saw coming out. I think they may be just changing what track they're on. I don't know. It looks like we've got someone coming out to potentially manually throw a switch. Potentially throwing it for something else that's going to come out of the yard. Oh no, obviously this is one right in front of me going to get thrown, I think. Make a clear path for her train. You can do it. Come on. You can do it! I don't think she heard me. I've had to deal with some switches like that at the museum. I'm a little surprised the switch used as often as this one. It's stiff though. Oh, look at that second coach. Above the door, it still says Burlington. That's something to appreciate while we still can. after it says BNSF. Most of them have been changed. May not have been much scheduled right now, but Roosevelt Road is rarely boring. And what do we have on the head end? Just the usual. F40 PHM. The Winnebago cab. We are only a few minutes away from that Amtrak rush right now, assuming nothing got further delayed. Southwest Chief that's outbound, I assume, will be on time. That seems like a fairly safe assumption. And as of a few hours ago, the inbound, or should I say eastbound, Southwest Chief was also pretty much on time when it came through Fort Madison. Around the same time, though, the California Zephyr was approaching Burlington, Iowa. It was about 45 minutes behind schedule. The Amtrak tracker was guessing it would be on time again by the time it reached Chicago, but we know how that is. Amtrak delays tend to snowball. Not always, though. I'm very much guessing what we'll see first will be the Southwest Chief. Once those come through, I think I'm going to try to get over onto the bridge, because I saw, as I was coming over here, I glimpsed at least one more private car over in the Amtrak yard, so definitely want to get over and try to see what all is there. I didn't see either of the, what's it called? Northern Sky? The two in the former Wisconsin Southern paint scheme. Those are always nice to see, and they're usually here. Don't know how well you can see it, but Amtrak's got a little switching going on. That one Superliner that was on its own has what looks like 2 locomotives, 2 P-42s, and a baggage car, and probably a coach or a crew dormitory coupling to it. Looks like they're working on building up a train. At this hour, I would guess it's probably one of the evening departures. If it's an evening departure with Superliners, that's going to be either the city of New Orleans or I think it would be the Cardinal. I don't know if either of those tends to run with a baggage. I don't know if either of those tends to run with a baggage car. But of course, if it's the Cardinal, it could also be that it's taking some cars down to Beech Grove in Indianapolis, which I suppose could be why that Superliner was sitting out on its own. You never know. I think we should be expecting those Southwest's Chief, any minute now. Oh, here we go. Outbound Southwest Chief. Inbound is scheduled right now, as is the inbound California Zephyr. Guess they're a little late. a day and a half, and they'll be in Los Angeles. Looks like probably another Metra coming out of... Oh, yep, here it comes. Another Metra coming out of the yard and into the station. I think we're expecting a couple outbounds and an inbound on the Metra BNSF line pretty soon as well. Can't see the entire train yet, but it looks like it's probably an 8-car rush hour. If we're lucky, maybe it'll have 2 engines. And it looks like there's an Amtrak backing out of the station. Probably the one we saw going in a little while ago, as I was coming into the parking lot. It could be a train going to Michigan, but I don't think this is when it's scheduled. Looks very empty. I think he's going to the yard. But where are the Zephyr and the other chief? I only turned the camera off a couple seconds ago, and here we are coming back on. Here's our first outbound on the BNSF line. Honestly, I should have expected that. Guess that's the train for everybody who's heading home to the suburbs early on this Friday. Maybe leaving for their Thanksgiving vacation. And less than a minute later, we have a Metra coming in from the yard again. And I'd say in about 1 to 2 minutes, we should be seeing that second outbound on the BNSF. Most of the Metro trains through here are on the BNSF line, though Heritage Corridor and Southwest Service also use it. But those lines have far fewer trains. Pity all these light poles are getting in the way of the view. Looks like we've got a conductor coming out to throw the switch again. I see our inbound Metra. No sign of our second outbound yet. 2 engines. I might have to slightly revise my opinion of that Metra paint scheme. It actually looks pretty nice with the full sun shining on it. I think it also looks nicer on the F40 PHM than it does on the MP36. The MP36 just isn't the most attractive locomotive in the world to begin with. And don't ask me what is the most attractive locomotive in the world, because I'm not getting into that argument. You can have that argument in the comments. Is that our outbound? I see a light. Oh, I saw a light. I don't see it now. Maybe. Probably. I think our outbound's coming. Yeah, I think you can see the headlight too now. Still not sure what happened to our trains from California. Must have encountered some delays coming across Illinois. Sorry, the camera angle keeps drifting. I keep looking over my shoulder as there's traffic coming to make sure that I'm not in the way of anything. I shouldn't be, but you never know with Chicago drivers. Or it could be something stopping just to confuse us. presume he's waiting for switches to be lined. But I can't see well enough from here to see if any tracks are moving, nor can I easily see what the signals say. These signals seem to be very directional. Oh, we've got a second outbound here. Or heading to the yard. Outbound is relative to the station, not relative to Chicago. I wonder if this one is our missing outbound that we're waiting for, and the other one is coming to the yard and is waiting for it to clear. Before anyone puts in the comments saying I should just check the Metra tracker on those missing those trains that haven't arrived yet, I don't have it handy. Coach again. Probably heading to Aurora. Anyway, I was trying to say that Amtrak tracker map is not handy for me right now. It does not communicate with my phone's browser very well. They don't get along. Huh. They gave a conductor a ride back to the coach yard. I hear what sounds like an engine from the direction of the station. That stop train isn't moving yet. Something coming out, some other noise entirely, who knows? There's a bell ringing though, somebody's moving. Oh, he's going back in. Changing tracks, I guess. Well, we've got a nice ALC 42 here. And a lot of just coaches and engines of all shapes and sizes getting serviced and getting ready to go. But I don't see the private cars that are sometimes parked over here. Looks a little better from this angle in the sunshine. Also see a train parked over there on the Rock Island line. And a lot of pigeons. Well, we're back over here now. You can see those two Amtrak engines. That ALC 42 is the same one we saw from the bridge a minute ago. You also can see just barely on the left-hand corner, you can see a Metra coming in from the yard. I don't think we were gone long enough to miss anything coming through. We might have missed one train if it had exactly the right timing. But I don't think there was much of anything scheduled to be missed, so. We also saw that P42 coupling to the ALC 42. I just couldn't get the camera out right then. And the Amtrak we saw coming out of the... I don't know, actually. I was going to say I saw the Amtrak we saw coming out of the station backwards, so I saw that coming into the yard, but now that I think about it, the one I saw coming into the yard from the other end couldn't have been that one. Unless it went around the Y, which I'm not sure it had time to do. If I had to guess, those two may be going to be on the city of New Orleans. Because if they're facing that direction, they're probably going to be going forward into Union Station and then backing out, just like anything going that way does. Or it's possible they'll put the train together and then go around the Y. I don't know. I'm not the Amtrak yardmaster. Another thought that occurs to me on the Southwest Chief is that it could have arrived while I was looking for a parking space. Since it was on time at Fort Madison, the padding on the schedule could have gotten it here maybe just early enough I could have missed it. I don't know. I don't think that's possible with the Zephyr. I think the best it could have done is on time. So maybe we won't see the Chief. But the Zephyr pretty much certainly isn't here yet. Got one Metra going each direction right now. I think they're both going to and from the yard. One thing that would be nice to have here would be a radio scanner. Be able to hear what the yard and dispatcher are talking about. Now it's our old friend, the Metra Hostler, getting the switch thrown for something else to come in or out of the yard. Yep, here it comes. Told you I might be wrong about those Amtrak engines. There's another Burlington coach. occurring to me that I wonder if I still have the video I took, the videos. Last time I was here at rush hour, that was a long time ago. It was probably like 2006? Maybe 2007 or 8, sometime around then. There were no SC44s or ALC42s, or venture coaches. Certainly no SD70 Mac H's on Metra. We still thought of the MP36s as pretty new at that point. It was even colder that day than it is today. It's above freezing today. I don't think it was then. So I guess that P42 is serving as a switch engine today. And I guess he's headed to get something out of the station. Or has to go way down to switch tracks. Well, just a couple minutes later, the P42 is back out. It's also stopped. I guess he's not lined for wherever he's going. About 3:40, 3:45, so I don't think we have anything scheduled coming in or out until about 4. We've got a little more slowness, and then things are supposed to really pick up, if I remember my notes correctly. I think this is probably that inbound with 2 locomotives that we saw a little while ago. Coming back out into the yard. And it's a race. Who will win, Metra or the light Amtrak? Another Metra coming out. And Metra pulls into the lead. And yes, it's the same train. Like I said, even when there's not much on the schedule, Roosevelt Road is really boring. He's not switching over to come into the yard. I suppose Metra schedules have been updated since we put those together, so I just didn't have the time to update them with the latest schedules this week. Well, that has passengers on board. That's certainly a scheduled service, not a yard job. Got another Metra coming out, and I hear another one ringing its bell in the yard. It's about 3:50 now. and I think there's a lot scheduled around 4 o'clock. Judging from the size of that train, I'm guessing that may be a heritage corridor, perhaps. You don't normally see metros that short anymore. Huh, looks like we have the Northwestern Medicine engine on this inbound. Hi there, Chief. What happened to you? You were on time. It's probably my fault that they were late. I said they were going to be on time, didn't I? And there's another one coming. How old is he? Ah. My daughter's just a little younger. But she likes the trains too. Cars, one engine. feel like I see the headlights of something else getting ready to come out of the station. It's hard to tell. This train must be exciting. It's blowing its horn and it has a crowd of hostlers here to see it. Don't know if they all have switches to throw to bring trains in for rush hour, or what. Certainly windy. Or perhaps they're all going into Union Station to bring trains out. Look at that. That just might be the video thumbnail. This will be everybody heading home slightly early on their Friday. Yeah, this one's getting a move on into the station, so I guess that means the 10 car that was ahead of it got to move in. Perhaps taking the track that this outbound vacated. Oh! Here it is. The late, great California Zephyr. Not as late as when I've ridden the California Zephyr, though. Take a look at that series of videos. That was a really fun trip. And yes, that was shameless self-promotion of the channel. Well, it must be pretty much 4 by now, so in the next little while, I think we're supposed to get a outbound Blue Water to Michigan, outbound Illini to wherever the Illini goes. Carbondale? Whichever one of the Illinois trains the Illini is, as well as a few outbound Metras. Which probably means a few inbounds from the yard as well. The sun is sinking further. It's almost behind the buildings now. It's at a really nice angle for the skyline, but not so much for the trains anymore. With I don't know if you can see it really well, with the red line on that Siemens car is really standing out and glowing. Well, that train coming backwards is probably the Blue Water headed to Michigan. It looks awfully long. It could just be going to the yard. And it's got an SC44 Siemens, so I'm going to guess that's Blue Water. That is a much longer train than I thought it was. I would have assumed that... Is Blue Water really that long? No, I don't think I see any... No, there are passengers. I was wrong. There are passengers. So yeah, this would be the Blue Water to Michigan. No. That looked like it said Carbondale on it. I may be wrong. Perhaps the Illinois services... Oh yeah, I guess if it goes down the old Illinois Central, it would have to back out too, wouldn't it? Has to reverse out and get across the river via that lift bridge you can see in the back garden. Not the one on the left, the vertical lift one in the middle of the shot. Go back across that, then it takes another track off to the right onto... It leads on to what was the St. Charles Airline, and then around south and connects back onto the old Illinois Central, now Canadian National, near McCormick Place. They used to reverse out onto the old Burlington, the BNSF line, and then go straight across that larger lift bridge that you can see that is the St. Charles Airline, but that bridge is out of service. Here's some action. I don't know about you, but I'm finding I like narrating here in person, on site, a whole lot more than I like narrating in front of the computer after the fact. If you like this style of narration better, please do let me know in the comments, and I'll keep doing more of it. Noisy helicopter. maybe I will try to put up with the cold here, because the action really is picking up. And up here I can see all the tracks, and I probably won't come in the station. When it gets warm again in the spring, I'll be able to come down here and cover all of rush hour and not have to freeze to death in the process. I'd also kind of like to do a video at Western Avenue. Western Avenue is kind of the equivalent of Roosevelt Road for the northern metro lines. Only there's not really as good a viewpoint there. If there was a railfan viewing point at Tower A2, that would be great. But sadly, that's not a thing. We had the Illini. Have not seen a blue water yet. It is too cold to take off my gloves and pull out my notes, so we'll see what we'll see. That metro we saw coming out of the station is backing back into it. So I assume it must have just been changing tracks. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's time to head over to Union Station before my fingers fall off. this appears to be about the longest of the Metra platforms. Over on this side is Amtrak. Over here is Metra. So I think this is between tracks 14 and 16. We have a number of Metras that are probably getting ready to go pretty soon. And this Amtrak that's probably either the Zephyr or the Chief. And here comes another Metra. Judging from the lights, I think there's something coming in again, too. Track got refilled in no time at all. The camera was only off probably less than a minute during that transition. And here comes another one coming in. Don't know what track though. That other one that just got emptied. Regional Amtrak. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Push some of the buttons below, and please do leave a comment letting me know whether you liked this new on-the-spot narration style or not. It'll also help me know that you did like this video and that it will be worth it to make another one a little longer showing more of rush hour when the weather gets warmer. Thanks for watching.